Mosaiq. Yeah, I love her. I love Mosaiq. I absolutely adore Mosaiq because Mosaiq is a painting that stands for not only a very playful, kind of naughty, very confident, free woman. Um, Mosaiq stands for the fact that whatever it is that you do, you cannot forget who you are and that you are the most important piece in any puzzle that you are trying to fix, put together in your life. I think for women in general and for women from the African diaspora specifically, because again, I'm telling this story, the stories that I tell, I don't know if I told that in the previous videos, but the stories that I tell are from a place where I, as a woman from the African diaspora, want to tell the stories that I know from women from the African diaspora to women from the African diaspora and to people from this world. It's not to say that our story is better or less. It's to say that our story is also present. And it's a voice that gets smothered a lot. So, you know, you could take the color away actually from any story that I paint, any painting that I create. You could put another color. It wouldn't matter. But the fact that I choose to stay within this beautiful realm where I get all those beautiful colors and all the beautiful stories and also very deep cultural bonding with other women. My friends, my family, it just makes sense to me to talk about this story. So it is a decision that for me was just natural to make. It doesn't mean that I won't, paint about or for other women from beautiful other cultures. There's so much that I can explore, of course, but the main practice for me will always be this. So when I look at Mosaiq, it also a little bit represents that. The fact that I am burying, opening, and just showing the naked truth. That I, and I hope also other women, consider themselves to be worthy and important enough to put themselves first. The reason why I stress that is because within certain cultures, if not most cultures within the African diaspora, a lot is required from us. And not for a wrong reason, of course, because I think it's a beautiful thing when we require the best from ourselves. I think it's a beautiful thing that we require ourselves to have titles, to go for a certain creed in life, to have a creed in life, to have a certain grandeur, status, an ability to say, this is what I've created, based on a fundament that has been created for me. So yes, of course, that is really important. But the one thing that gets pushed to the side a lot of times, or pushed to the back, depending on how you want to look at it, is the fact that we, you, me, we get to not really hear verbally how important it is to be putting yourself first. And that your journey as a woman within a culture, especially the Western culture, where things are so materialistic, where the next best trend is being picked up and being capitalized on, including ourselves. And just to give an example, our hairstyle, the way that we talk, the way that we walk, the way that we look, lips, hips, the way that we look, our color. But we are also being condemned for it at the same time, which is very interesting to me to see that paradox in that. And I will leave the judgment opinion to you. You can think and believe whatever it is that you see. But I think for me, it is important to see that, notice that, and find a way to convey that message, to convey that particular phenomenon that I witness. And with Mosaiq, I really want to show that we do stand in the forefront. We do. Let me stress that I'm not saying that other ethnicities, other cultures are not important. Absolutely not. Because eventually, as human beings, we are one. I am zooming in to a particular space where I see so many stories. I hear them, sense them, experience them, and I don't see it back reflected to me. So that's why I speak of it in such a way. And also, I find it very important to speak in such a way. So for those that are really not comfortable speaking in such a way, then I don't know if my art or my platform will be something for you. And with Mosaiq, I want to put that woman brutally, playfully, and confidently first as the most important piece. And for those who don't know what a Mosaiq is a gathering of little colored stones, and you can put different colors of stones together and get a whole picture. You can put the same color stones, monochrome, together and get a certain picture. It can be abstract, it can be conceptual, it can be whatever it is that you want to do. And I deliberately wanted to make one of the biggest pieces, us. And by us, I mean women from the African diaspora. And I also want us to know that. Not necessarily that it is being told to us, oh, we think you are important. No, it is something that you just are. And it takes some time, it takes a while. And it can sometimes be uncomfortable because who do you think you are to believe that or to hear that or to see that or to walk that way or talk that way? Who are you? What have you done? We are living in a Western society where that particular status is really, really important. That who are you and what is your title? That's the way that we also introduce ourselves. So for me, that particular element that she's naked, that she is in her own body is really important because this is the way that she represents herself. And that is more than enough. It's not about nudity of showing some boobs and, just a naked body. It's about that who we represent ourselves as, with everything that we come with, is good enough. So therefore, Mosaiq is the story that I wanted to put on canvas. And I love to use color. And I didn't want it to use like the literal Mosaiq that you see all the stones and then within you see. I wanted to use as minimal as possible to have the biggest impact, actually. So I hope I have done that. I believe I've done that. But that's basically the story behind Mosaiq. Mosaiq is a painting that is 90 by 100 centimeters. But what I find very funny about my journey so far is that I went from really small. I think the smallest painting that I started with was something 50 by 50 centimeters. And I'm going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, I still want to go bigger. I still think it's too small. I still believe that I can talk about more things and more subjects. But yeah, it's very interesting to see for myself that I choosing bigger and bigger canvases. Now, mind you, bigger does not mean that it, per definition, is better. It just means that maybe I just want to make a bigger statement, period. So, yeah. The thing that I want people to take away from this painting is that, in essence, who we are and what we stand for in our, if we would be just naked, completely naked, that would be just good enough. That would be actually the ideal world, right? So I am the most important piece in that. And I don't think there should be any shame in that, of saying it and knowing it, and also living life in that particular way. That conscious decision and thought has helped me to get where I am and where I further want to go. And I want people to receive that message. And with any painting that I create, I cannot determine what somebody sees, because we all have our own lenses. We all have our own way of living, standing in life. But this is the message, and I hope you're open to it. So that's Mosaiq.